These 7 income streams made me $6.2 million in 2024. And no, this isn't another passive income video that you've seen everywhere else online, because quite frankly, passive income doesn't exist. Real income takes work. And so I want to share with you how I built up to a point where I can have multiple income streams that generate this much revenue all the way from zero when I first started. But first, if you're new here, my name's John, husband, father, and founder of AdClients.com. And over the past 10 years, I built multiple online service-based businesses that have generated collectively over $30 million online without having to hustle 24/7, sacrifice my personal life, or stop doing the things that I love. And now here on the channel, I help other people do the same. So what I want to share with you now is a timeline of how these events unfolded and how these income streams compounded on top of each other, because you don't start with this many. In fact, that would actually be quite foolish. You need to be able to learn something, master it, see success with it, and then you add to it. If you try to do too much too quickly in the beginning, you end up actually watering down your chance of success with any one of the income streams that you're trying. And so let me take you back to 2013. This was when I was trying to find a way to make some money online. I didn't really mind how I did it. I was just trying to get my foot in the door and understand this entrepreneurial thing. It started on eBay. I was seeing an opportunity to buy and sell at different rates. I could buy something on eBay and then I could resell it at a slightly higher price with a better listing and more information. And that was working quite well. I then decided, well, let's do this at scale. And so I would find an item that was selling really well. I would buy it wholesale in bulk, and then I would list them all individually on the eBay site. And I became an eBay power seller. I was making great money and everything was awesome. And it was the latter part of 2013 that I wanted to learn how I could grow my eBay business beyond what I was currently doing. And so I bought an online course. It was a digital program. I was given some login details, and that was what was delivered to me. And I went through these videos, and at the very end of the course, I was invited to be an affiliate. This would give me the opportunity to promote the course I just went through in exchange for a commission, but I was offered over 50% of the value of the sale. I remember thinking, well, what's this affiliate marketing thing? Because I'm over here on eBay, packaging up products every day, heading to the post office, doing all this manual labor, and I'm seeing maybe 10 and 20% net profit margins, and here I could be promoting someone else's digital program with no shipping costs, no handling costs, no production costs, and get 50%. It made a lot of sense to me. And so that led into 2014, where I decided to dive headfirst into the world of affiliate marketing. And here came my second income stream. I'm buying and selling on eBay, and I kept that thing moving, but all the while I'm growing my affiliate marketing business. I'm learning how I can take an affiliate link and place it in the right places across the internet where I can drive traffic, people who are hungry for a solution that this problem solves, and I can pair that up with a product that's going to solve that solution, and I get paid a commission for essentially connecting the buyer with the product. And as I started to get towards the end of 2014, I was doing very, very well with this. I actually started to earn about $20,000 to $30,000 a month as an affiliate, just me in my bedroom. And the way in which I was doing it was quite interesting. I had found a way where I could target certain keywords on YouTube that people were searching for, and then I could rank a video in that position and then point them to my affiliate link. And that's how I was making my money. And then it was 2015 that I thought, I wonder if anyone else wants to learn this skill. I figured out how to rank videos on YouTube and siphon all of that traffic to, I guess, any website that anyone would want on the internet. And so I decided to delve into the world of online courses. And rather than selling other people's as an affiliate, I created my own in 2015. And I would teach people how they could do the YouTube stuff that I was doing. And as I do with anything I turn my hand to, I found the right information, I found some coaching and some support, I learned the skills necessary to launch my own program, and I made a couple of $100,000 that first year in 2015 selling my courses, and now my income streams are starting to stack up. And the journey just kept growing and evolving from there. In 2016, I found my passion for coaching and training people inside of my online courses, and I realized I'd love to do that more in person. And so in 2016, I decided to run my first ever big event in London, where I would invite a couple of hundred people into an event space and train them and coach them for a few days and bring in some guest speakers. And that would open up opportunities for, in 2017, starting to partner with other experts that have skill sets that I don't have, but I know how to package up their skill set into an online course, and I can help them to sell it. And so 2017 was the year where we started to do these partnerships. And then in 2019 to 2021, we started focusing on high ticket coaching. So working with fewer people, but closer, and make sure that they get the result that they're after. In 2023, we launched a software platform that would help the clientele that we're serving to be able to do the things we're teaching them with greater accuracy and efficiency. And we find ourselves now in a place where we're going back to the event space and doing bigger, better events alongside incredible headline speakers like Stephen Bartlett and Sarah Davies and Rory Sutherland and others. And what I want to do now is go in a bit more granular and break down these different income streams for you. So let's start with my biggest revenue and income generator of 2024. And it's my two coaching programs. One's called Expert Elite, the other's called Expansion, and they both serve a slightly different clientele and they both serve a different purpose. So Expert Elite works with entry-level coaches and experts and online educators and trainers, and we show them how to build a client acquisition machine. We're very, very good, and by we, I mean me and my team. We're very, very good at the paid ad traffic generation. We're very good at building sales funnels that convert that traffic through value and then conversion mechanisms into hot prospects that are interested to work with you. And then we're very good at the phone close process and build rapport, provide more value, and entice people to work with you. And so we teach those clients and experts and online educators how to build that model so that they can have a reliable way of attracting new clients into their business. And then we've got Expansion, which is a higher level mastermind experience. And so people that are already running with some momentum in their business, maybe they're already generating 20K, 30K, 40K per month. Maybe they're already at the multiple six-figure annual run rate, but now they're looking to get to 7 figures. Very different challenges getting a business to 7 figures than when you get it to 6. And so Expansion Mastermind, it's all about expansion. How do we expand what we're doing? How do we have a greater impact, greater reach? And of course, there's the mastermind elements to get to know other people in that program for shared knowledge and shared ideas. And between these two programs in 2024, we generated around about $4.4 million doing this coaching. And it is fun, it's exciting, and it's highly rewarding. There are some pros and cons though. So let's start with the pros, because there are some great advantages to having a business like this. The first is a lot of it can be automated. Not the client delivery, but everything up until that point. In fact, that's what we teach. It's having a client acquisition machine that is almost entirely automated so that your traffic, your funnel, and your conversion process is almost entirely taking care of itself, and you just get to work with amazing clients out the other end. Another advantage, at least for me, is I have an incredible team that runs the show and makes sure that everything's running on time. It's a highly rewarding business to have because you get great success for your clients and you're gathering those testimonials and it feels awesome. And the other advantage is that it's a scalable business model. So many other business opportunities are not scalable. You hit a ceiling, you hit a cap. But when you're running group coaching programs or masterminds, they're highly scalable and they've got great profit margins as well. So then what are some of the disadvantages? What are the cons? Well, you do need a team to keep this thing running. I mean, I don't know about you, but you probably don't want to burn out on a certain business that you're running. And so if you're doing a coaching program and you want to do it well and you want to deliver really well for your clients, you've got to start to build a team around you that can pick up the slack and help keep everything moving as it should and keeping the quality for your clients where it needs to be. Second thing is, as much as it is a lucrative business and it's all the pros I mentioned above, it is hard work. This is not a simple business to start with, okay? This is not press a few buttons and you're making great money. This is a hard graft to get it moving, but of course the rewards are worth it. And the other disadvantage is that, if you're going to run a business like a coaching business and you want to scale it, you need to understand paid advertising, but ad costs are on the rise. So you've got to stay sharp, you've got to keep learning new skills to stay ahead of the curve. And by the way, before we move on, if either of those programs, Expert Elite or Expansion, feels like it's actually the kind of thing you've been looking for and help that you need, then come check out some more information about these programs. There's a link in the description box below. There's also a button up here, I believe, that will take you to a page where you can get more info on those two programs. The second income stream that I'd like to talk about are our online boot camps and workshops. We run these sometimes 2 days, sometimes 3 days, and it's an opportunity for, rather than someone coming into an elongated coaching experience, we get to condense that into a rapid fire training experience over the course of those 2 or 3 days. And so it serves a different type of customer or client. Some people want to work with you for a prolonged period of time and get that close support. Other people just want to get in, get what they need, and get out. And so we started running these and they've been so much fun. We attract an incredible crowd for these boot camps, and in the course of the last 12 months we generated $457,000 or thereabouts running these boot camps a few times a year. But it's also worth pointing out that this acts as a really nice stepping stone from one of our revenue streams to another, because people come to the bootcamp and they pay to be there, and that's a great income stream by itself. But then at the end of the bootcamp, they get to decide if they want to move up to one of our coaching programs or not. And of course, many people decided they did, and that factors in to some of the 4.4 million that our coaching programs are responsible for. So let's do the same as before, pros and cons. Well, the pros are we're able to pack a ton of value into a 2 or 3 day experience, and so customers are absolutely delighted. So therefore it's a feel-good business. Number 2, it's really fun to do. I actually enjoy it. You know, you've got to pick the type of business to start that you actually would have fun doing. If you're an introvert and you just want to stay away from people, then maybe don't run a bootcamp. But I have extrovert qualities, although I have moments where I want to keep to myself. And so on a bootcamp like this, I actually have fun doing it. And the third is they're very profitable. You know, your delivery is only over 3 days, and there's no delivery either side of that. And so it actually means that it's a very profitable venture. The cons are, and there's 2. Number 1, it is of course very time consuming for that 3 day period and the time leading up to it where you're prepping. So you do need to find that you're in a place in your business, your career, in your life where you can allocate a full week to prep and delivery, and you may just not be there right now. The second thing is that a team is needed. If you're going to run a boot camp or a workshop, it's advised to have someone who's looking after the Zoom room and making sure people are taken care of, and your customers are served on the way in and onboarded correctly and ready for the boot camp and got what they need, and maybe even a tech team to look after the production of the boot camp and make sure everything's running smoothly. So there is a need to have a team. You could do it by yourself, but you just run some risks doing that. The third income stream is a mastermind that I have called Titan. Now, not to be confused with the expansion mastermind I mentioned earlier. Elite and expansion are very much positioned as coaching experiences, but expansion has a mastermind attached to it. Titan is very separate. It is for a completely different demographic, and it's absolutely not for everyone. It's something that is by invite only, and we keep the group very small and very intimate. This is basically just for my friends. It's people that I have connected with over the years that are doing sensational things in business. We're talking multiple 7 figures a year, if not 8 figures a year. We've got a few guys in the group doing 50 million a year. So this is a very high caliber group that are looking for a mastermind where they can get peer-to-peer support for people that are at the same level and having the same problems. I started this particular income stream and this mastermind because at the time, nothing like it existed in the UK. For entrepreneurs like myself, there are some decent masterminds at this type of caliber over in America, but there was nothing here in the UK. And so I cast vision out to my friends. I said what I was trying to achieve. I said my dream behind creating this mastermind. And luckily they caught onto that dream and they paid me a lot of money to facilitate this particular group. And every time we meet once a quarter, we invite just a handful of new people to come and be a part of what we're doing. And so we generate at the moment around about $600,000 a year from that mastermind. Pros and cons. Pros are, it's so much fun again, it's incredibly rewarding, and I must admit, I get so much out of it. This is the mastermind that I would want to be in. It just so happens that I get to run and facilitate it and get paid to do so, which is absolutely awesome. Cons, there's very little. It's actually just an incredible business venture, and one that I'm so pleased I did, and there's really no disadvantage other than it takes some of my time to facilitate, but time I'm very happy to allocate. And then there's our events business. Goodness me, this is a big one. I've got so much I can say and I'll try and condense it into a short period of time. The events scene in the UK is complete trash. So many people are trying to do events, but there's no care, there's no thought, there's no value, and I saw a gap in the market. I saw a need here in the UK for a marketing, sales, entrepreneurial event that was high value, high energy, exciting, incredible experience, and you leave with genuine transformations right there in the room. And so I decided to launch a conference called AdCon. It's about to go into its 3rd year at the time of watching this. We've got AdCon 2025. We've got some incredible guest speakers coming to join, and I'm so proud of what me and the team have put together here. It does produce revenue, and I'll tell you about that in just a moment, but I would like to make it known on record that my first prize for running this event is not revenue. It's the experience and the brand equity that we gain by doing so. I am at a point in my career right now where I want to have a massive impact on every person that my businesses touch. And so with AdCon, I would rather make less money out the other end, but give an incredible experience to those people that come, which is completely contrary to the way that the events tend to work here in the UK. Most event promoters, the game is to keep your costs as low as humanly possible and squeeze as much revenue out of the room as you possibly can. I imagine you may have even found yourself in a seat at a conference and had that experience. It's awful. So we put high value and high expense on experience, and it just so follows that we have some revenue out the other side of that as well. So let's talk about that part. Last year when we ran the event, we generated around about $800,000 out the other side of the event, and this year will be set to be even bigger. So a very rewarding experience for revenue, but first prize is the experience for the delegates, and I think we tick that box 10 times out of 10. So pros and cons, well, I think I just touched on it. I love it, it's so much fun. We of course have the opportunity to provide upsells and make offers to people in the room if they want to, and it just genuinely feels like a high impact venture, which is great. The cons, huge upfront costs. I mean, you can almost kind of tell the people in a certain industry that practice what they preach and are really doing what they're saying they're doing, because quite simply, not everyone has £1 million to just throw towards an event and cash flow it. It's very hard to do that, and most people just can't do it or won't do it. And the second thing is it's of course time consuming. You know, it takes a lot of our time throughout the year to plan it and prepare it, and it's time that most people wouldn't have unless their other ventures are relatively automated. Now, my fifth primary income stream is now a software company. It's called a SaaS, software as a service. And this came about because, as you know, I have my coaching programs, I have my courses, I have my masterminds. And so I have a whole pool of users that need a software to implement the stuff that we're teaching. Building sales funnels, doing email marketing, handling their course sales, hosting their online courses, and so many other things. And so, long story short, I partnered up with a previous client of mine, and we created the software that was missing in the marketplace. We have plowed millions into developing this piece of kit. It is now absolutely incredible. It wipes the floor with most of our competitors, and it's been an absolute joy to work on this, and it's also been a challenge at the same time. It's worth pointing out that we are in our early stages of this particular business venture. We have about 1,000 members on the platform right now, and average member is paying somewhere between $95 a month and $295 a month. We do have some people on annual plans as well. So it's producing some tidy revenue, but we've also got some heavy costs. So for us, this is the business that we may not be wildly profitable month on month, but we're building for a hugely valuable billion-dollar valuation later on down the track. So that's the particular play that we're running with the software business. So what are some of the pros and the cons? Well, the pros are we have now a product that feels very tangible. You know, we're moving away from just information. Courses, coaching is great, but it's not very tangible. It's all digitally delivered. And I suppose so is the software, but you're actually getting a product and it feels more tangible to the client. The second pro is it's a business that can build to a very substantial scale. You're just quite simply not going to be able to scale an online course or a coaching program to $1 billion, but you can scale a software company to $1 billion. So you're just playing a very different game at that point, and it's a huge advantage. And another pro, at least for me, that someone else might not see as an advantage, is that it's hugely challenging. And I like that. I'm in a stage in my career now where I want challenge. I don't want boring. I don't want the same. I want to keep stretching myself and achieving greater things and challenging myself. And so I see that as a huge pro. So what are some of the cons? And I think this is the reason why you probably shouldn't start here or anywhere close to here. Number one, you need a lot of money. You know, developing a piece of software is extremely expensive and you will run out of money very, very quickly. Second thing, you should probably find a great partner. You're either a great developer and then you need someone who can sell the software, or you're great at marketing and sales and you need to find a great developer. And thirdly, it's a very slow start. This is not a business that you can jump into and even with the best of skills, within 30 days you're into profit and doing great things. It's a complete slow burn and you're playing the long game, not the short game. So this absolutely is not for the faint of heart. And then 6 and 7, we can kind of tie in together, but there are some differences. And I guess it comes under the investing category, because number 6 is getting into the world of property. You get to a point where your businesses are profitable and lucrative enough that it's actually sensible to take the money that's just sitting in the bank and doing something more productive with it. Now, one of the investment opportunities that is easiest to understand, readily available to the average person, is property. So I spent a couple of years diving into that world and learning everything I could about property, and was able to tuck some money away into some rental properties and some commercial conversions and doing some creative things and having a bit of fun with that stuff as well. And if we're touching on the pros and the cons, well, I think the pros are that it's widely considered one of the safest investments that you can put your money into. It's, like I mentioned, easy to understand. The average person can wrap their head around it. Once you know the model, and it's rinse and repeat, taking profits from your trading businesses and putting them into property. The cons are, it does take a little bit of time to learn the rules of the game, because although it's relatively simple once you know it, you can get stung at quite a number of areas when you're throwing some money into property. And so you do need to spend some time to invest in yourself and your education, learn the rules of the game. There's another disadvantage, which is, of course, the minimum you're going to be putting down on a property is the percentage of a deposit. Here in the UK, it's 25% deposit for a rental property. So look at the value of property in your area and you can get a bit of a gauge of what your entry point into the market is. Now, someone else watching this video that's a property expert will tell you that there's no money down deals and there's a bunch of other creative things you can do. Of course, you can go and delve into that. I'm talking about, at its core, simple principles. You just want to tuck some money away. You're looking at the value of a deposit. And so then number 7, investments of varying other kinds. I've been able to invest in crypto. I've been able to invest in other companies and small startups. And that feels very, very exciting. And I guess the reason why it's at the very end of the list is because you absolutely don't start here. In fact, all of the other income streams that I've talked about has taught me lessons and taken me to another area in my career where I now have the skills necessary to be able to now invest in other businesses, other companies, other startups, and do that confidently and take the risk. Because it is a risk. And I guess that's really the biggest con of investing as an angel investor or something similar, is that not every project you invest in is guaranteed to take off. In fact, most will probably fail and some will take off. And so there has to be an element of your ability to lean into risk. But secondly, the cash that you put into that needs to be cash that you don't mind losing. It cannot be money that you're banking on saving, because you might lose it. So you have to only allocate funds to those types of investments that you don't mind losing, but taking the risk on it actually giving you an exponential return. Now, as I mentioned earlier, my online coaching business was the biggest earner for me back in 2024. And if you want to learn more about it, how it works, how it might be able to do it for yourself, I've actually got a video right here that you can check out to learn a bit more about that particular business model. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy that one, and I'll see you in a future one.